Yo, what's up, guys? Your boy Pick'em MMA. We're back breaking down another card. We got UFC Riyadh, Saudi Arabia next week. It's gonna be a fight night card. It's not gonna be a pay-per-view. We lost a pretty big fight. I mean, we had Chimaev coming back next week. Unfortunately, he's hospitalized right now. Hopefully, I pray that he's okay, man. I want to see him come back 100%. So let's get into this, man. We got Aliskerov replacing Chimaev. It's not going to be the same with Aliskerov, but at least we have someone taking a matchup against Whittaker. Because Dana White said no one else was really willing to step in on this short notice. I mean, this much of on like a week's notice. So at least Aliskerov was out there in the training camp preparing for a fight this weekend. So he's going to be taking on Whittaker now. Guys, we've been doing pretty well on the picks, on the bets, and everything. So if you guys are interested in that, you can become a member on the channel. I post my betting slate every week for channel members as a perk for supporting the channel. If that's something you guys want to do, you can check that out. And now let's break down the fights, right? We're gonna go with the early fight on the card, which is gonna be Sedriques Dumas taking on Denis Tiuliulin. I think Sedriques Dumas will win this fight. I mean, I was actually picking Tiuliulin over Gadzhiyasulov because I think the Gadzhiyasulov brothers are absolute frauds. I'm not high on Gadzhiyasulov brothers at all, man. And Dumas, like, actually bet on him over Gadzhiyasulov. He wasn't looking all that good out there, but he was able to stay upright and outstrike, stay moving, stick and move, and outstrike Gadzhiyasulov on the feet. I think Gadzhiyasulov is pretty horrible. So this is actually a better matchup than Gadzhiyasulov. The only reason Jar was actually fighting on this card is because he has links with the Saudis. So he's actually rich, man. I don't think the guy really fights for money. That's why he only fights like once a year, every once a couple of years. Um, yeah, I'm happy. I think this is a better matchup than Jar versus Tiuliulin because they were really trying to find someone to get Jar a win. And I actually thought Tiuliulin had a good chance of beating Jar. Tiuliulin is a good kickboxer. I mean, he's actually fought some decent guys. Fought Aliskerov back in the day. He's actually had some tough matchups, man. That 11-9 record is he's been fighting some pretty decent guys. I mean, he fought Leroy Duncan, a capable kickboxer, good striker. RoboCop. I mean, RoboCop took him down and hit him in the back of the head. I mean, that was controversial, but still, the Iron Turtle got him in a submission. This guy has the holes in his game with the grappling. I definitely could see a Dumas taking him down. Also, he also fought um, for some pretty decent guys, man. He's fought some Russians over there. Kizriev, I mean, we're supposed to see Kizriev fight this year. We didn't get to see him. He fought Aliskerov back in 2020. I think Dumas can get this done. I could see Dumas mixing in takedowns in this fight. I think it'd be smart for him to mix in takedowns because Tiuliulin can actually strike, man. He's not a bad striker on the feet. Doesn't have a lot of power on the feet. I don't think he's got a crazy amount of power on the feet. His only win was over Jimmy Pickett. Jimmy Pickett's not with the UFC anymore. I think Dumas can get this one done. I mean, that fight with the Rizuboya was kind of controversial because I think Rizuboya poked him in the eye. Then he was looking for a stoppage from the referee, trying to get a timeout, and the referee just didn't care. But he actually went out there on a grapple with Cody Brandes. Now, we could say Cody Brandes was out there pulling guillotines every round, and he kept giving up top control to Dumas. But Dumas actually looked like the better grappler in those positions when he was out there grappling with Brandes. Obviously beat Jar in a really close fight. I actually bet on him there. That was kind of a sweat because he had some good moments in the third round. I think he lost the second round, won the first round. But I think Damas is getting better, man. That win over Mateus, actually, that's actually a good win. I think we're gonna see Mateus fight on the Contender Series again. Maybe he fights an Octagon right now. I'm not sure if he's with the Octagon anymore, but he's actually been getting some wins after that fight. Denis was able to catch him in a guillotine choke in that fight. Yeah, I mean, beating Mataz is actually not bad. He's at 9-1 now. I think we're gonna see him back, get another opportunity for the UFC. And he was actually underdog in that matchup. I think Denis is gonna get this one. I'm gonna say Denis by submission. I think Denis can get a submission here. I really think Denis can get a submission. If he grapples, man, I think he's gonna get an easy submission here. But on the feet, I mean, it's gonna be competitive on the feet. I think Denis is more slicker. I'm gonna go Denis by. It could be decision. I mean, Tiuliulin is pretty tough. He's not easy to put away. But I could see like a submission. I could see a sneaky submission for Dumas here if he grapples. I'm not sure if he will grapple, but I could see him locking in a submission eventually. Let's look at the odds. I mean, plus 154 Tiuliulin. Um, Dumas is 185. Should he be minus 185? I mean, maybe, but I think he's good. I think he's gonna get this one done. Medium confidence in Dumas here. He's taking this fight in short notice though, because Stoden was supposed to fight a Gadzhiyasulov, but this guy's always out there in a training camp. He also had some issues that he's dealing with outside the fight game. I mean, dealing with some court issues with his baby mama, I think. But I think he got freed from those charges. He got proven innocent, so good for Dumas. I think he's gonna get this one done by submission. Alright, guys. Up next, we got Long Xiao taking on Chang Ho Lee. Now, this is actually a tough fight to break down, man. I'll be honest with you guys. This is actually gonna be a tough matchup to break down because Long Xiao is actually not bad. I know he's got a crazy amount of experience at 25 years old. He's only like 26 years old, barely. He just turned 26 a couple months back. And this guy can wrestle, man. His striking looked terrible in that Christian Quinones fight. I watched a lot of tape on this fight because I really want to see how good both of these guys really are. And they were apparently supposed to fight a couple months ago, like a couple years back, I think, on the road to DFC, and those fights were canceled because I think Long Xiao has been dealing with some issues, some injuries. So they're supposed to fight 2 times before, and Long Xiao had some problems with he was dealing with an injury, nursing an injury. Then he pulled out. I mean, Xiao withdrew from that one. Now, the thing I like about Chang Ho Lee is that he's actually out there finishing these guys, man. He's actually out there finishing these guys. That's why I'm gonna lean towards Chang Ho Lee just because he's out there finishing these guys. But if you go watch his tape, man, he just got outworked in this fight. He was trying to go for takedowns. I mean, they were both going for takedowns. He got controlled up against the fence in that fight in Brave CF. That was 2 years ago. And he's out there finishing these guys. I mean, Rinat's saying is pretty terrible. That was a ground and pound finish on the ground. He took him down and was way better in the grappling exchanges. Then he this win over. He was actually getting his ass beat early, man. He's getting taken down, outworked, outgrappled. Then he came back in the third round, got a late TKO finish. I think this guy Jevu Passy was pretty tired in the third round, but I like this guy's I like the way he finished that fight, man. He's actually tough. He's got some heart. Now Zhao is not gonna be easy to finish out there. This guy's pretty tough, man. He got dropped by Christian Quinones in the second round, still came back. He was actually winning the second round before he got dropped at the end. He doesn't really move his head out the center line, so I think Chang Ho Lee can probably get this one done. He's a slight underdog right now. That's the only reason I'm leaning towards Chang Ho Lee, but he's 30 years old, man. How many improvements is he really gonna make at this point? I guess we'll find out. And doesn't have as much experience as Long Xiao, but Long Xiao like losing some pretty terrible guys out there early in his career, but he's been on a run since only lost to Christian Quinones recently. But I just don't like the way. I actually picked him over Nose in the road TFC. He was underdog in that one, and he barely won the fight. I mean, barely. And then majority disses in his last fight. He was actually underdog in that fight too. So maybe he can get this one done. I mean, maybe he can outwork this guy. Maybe he can outwork this guy, but I'm gonna go Chang Ho Lee. I like the finishing, but at least he's out there finishing these guys on the regionals MMA. I'm gonna go Chang Ho Lee by decision. I don't think this fight's gonna be finished. Long Xiao has more experience though going the distance, so he's got 13 wins by decision. Only been finished 3 times in the first 2 times in the first round. So I'm gonna go Chang Ho Lee. Even though he's finishing a lot of these guys, I'm gonna say he gets it done by decision. I think it's gonna be a close matchup. Striking, I mean, they're both not that good, not that technical on the feet. I think the striking is going to be pretty competitive here. I'm going to say Chang Ho Lee gets it done by decision here. That's going to be my pick here. And the odds for this one, I mean, Chang Ho Lee is actually plus 100 right now. The line's been trending the other way, probably because the guy has a lot of experience, fought on the Contender Series before, fought Christian Quinones. He's a capable striker, pretty technical striker. But he got beat up in that fight pretty bad. I mean, this guy has no head movement. He was landing some good shots in the second round though, but then he got dropped. I'm gonna go Chang Ho Lee. Low confidence pick on Chang Ho Lee here. Not a lot of confidence in this fight. Alright guys, up next we got Magomed Gadzhiyasulov taking on Brendson Ribeiro. Now Magomed has been a letdown, man. He was a big favorite over Jose Medina and couldn't really finish the guy. Couldn't really even drop the guy. I don't know if he dropped him. I was live during that card. I was live during that contender series card. Excuse me. And yeah, he's not out there finishing these guys, man. Like it's not a good luck when you can't finish these low level guys outside the UFC. And Medina has actually got a chin on him. The guy's pretty tough. He definitely beat Medina pretty clearly. Some Medina probably. I think he had some good moments in some exchanges, but most for the major part in that fight, I mean, Magomed actually slicker from the outside, landing some good shots from the outside. This guy can actually grapple. Doesn't have a lot of experience. Fights out of Bahrain, Russia. Bahrain, I mean not Russia. I think it's the same type of reason over there. There's a lot of guys out of Bahrain fighting on that card, and one of them lost to Balato, I think, and then one of them lost to Mauricio Ruffy, I think, on the card. So this guy's the only one that won on the card out of Bahrain, and a lot of these guys they had a lot of hype coming in on that contender series card. He's the only one that got a win. I think he was like a huge favorite, like 16-1 or something like that. What was the odds? I think it was like 16-1 in that fight. He was like I think it was even higher than minus 850. He was a huge favorite and couldn't really get the finish, I guess. Not really a good look. He's gonna be fighting a guy with a lot of finishing ability. Brendson and Ribeiro has actually fought the way better competition. It's kind of chinny. I mean, I picked Min Jang to beat him by knockout because I said Min Jang has had the better chin. I bet the under 1.5 in that fight. Brendson Ribeiro carries a lot of power, man. He's kind of reckless, but he's got a nice jab. Throws with a lot of power. Willing to like trade in the pocket. He's willing to get knocked out to land a knockout punch. That's the thing about Brendson Ribeiro in this fight. This is definitely a tough one because I don't think Magomed should be this big of a favorite at almost over 3-1. But I do think he's the more technical guy. I think he's also got the wrestling to fall back on if he needs to. He hasn't really been fighting a lot of powerful guys out there, so we really don't know what kind of chin he has. Maybe he has a glass chin. I'm gonna go with Magomed. Does he finish the guy? I mean, I could see a finish. Here. Hasn't really been finishing a lot of guys, but Ribeiro is kind of chinny. He's coming off that brutal K over Min Jang. At least I knew Chang had Chang's chin has actually been tested. His chin was tested over Toko's in that road to the UFC fight, so that's why I picked Chang. But Ribeiro actually been out there and beat a LFA heavyweight champion. I think Bruno Lopez is a heavyweight champion right now in LFA. So that's actually a good one. He knocked him out like with a crazy. And Bruno Lopez just couldn't really get takedowns in that fight. Wasn't really trying to take him down. Made a mistake, I guess, just trying to trade in the pocket. And Brendson Ribeiro has a long reach. So Magomed's got to be careful, man. I'm not really completely sold on this guy. I am gonna pick him by TKO, maybe like a late finish, but you never know, man. This one's kind of tricky because Brendson carries a lot of power. He's only 27 years old, still a lot of time to get better at this weight class. This is at light heavyweight, yeah. I think Lopez is actually fights that. He's a light heavyweight champion, I think. Isn't he a light heavyweight champion? I think he's a light heavyweight champion. Bruno Lopez. He had a lot of hype coming in, so he actually fraud checked Lopez. And it was looking really good in that fight. Brendson and Ribeiro looked pretty terrible. I mean, not Brendson and Ribeiro. I mean, Lopez looked pretty terrible in that fight. We're just trading in the pocket with this guy. I'm gonna go Magomed by TKO. That's my pick. Up next, we got Rinat Fakhretdinov taking on Nicolas Dalby. This is a tough one, man. This is another tough fight. Even though the odds are crazy for Rinat Fakhretdinov. We forgot to look at the odds for the last fight. Let's look at the odds. Minus 470 for Magomed Gadzhiyasulov. The line hasn't really gone anywhere. There's some money coming in Magomed now, but I would not touch that line. I don't really trust the guy that much. Even though he's undefeated, but kind of unproven. Let's talk about this fight. Rinat Fakhretdinov, man, really good wrestler, really good control, top control. Out grappled Brian Battle, like just complete with blanket. Brian Battle was all over him in the grappling exchanges. Now, to be fair, Brian Battle took that fight on short notice. Dalby, man, he just fraud checked Gabriel Bonfim Was it a fraud check? I think it was kind of a fraud check, if we're being honest. So Dalby took him down. I mean, not Dalby. I mean, Bonfim took him down in the first round. Was looking for a submission. Dalby was able to weather that storm early. And they're standing in the second on. I think that was the first time Bonfim went to second on. And going second on with a guy like as durable as Dalby, that's a nightmare because Bonfim was gassed, looking at the clock, trying to see what time it was, how much time was left in the second on. And you can tell, man, Bonfim was definitely falling apart. And Dalby landed that flying knee. I think it wasn't much of a flying knee. It was a knee in the clinch. Then he knocked him out. I think Bonfim will be back, but that was a tough loss for Bonfim. Dalby's actually really durable. One of the most durable guys at 170. At 30, almost 40 years old, man. This guy looks really good. He looks better and better at 40 years old. It's kind of crazy. Had a really close fight with Worley Elvis. Worley won the first round. Dalby won. I think he landed. I don't know which one of them landed a head kick. I think it might have been Dalby. Yeah. I'm gonna pick Fakhretdinov. I think Fakhretdinov can out wrestle him. But on the feet, man, Dalby's actually got better striking on the feet than Fakhretdinov. But I know Dalby's gonna make him work for sure. So those takedowns control is not gonna be easy from Fakhretdinov. But I do see Fakhretdinov getting those takedowns. I think he will get those takedowns. He will rack up that control. Also, they're fighting in Abu Dhabi. So if it's a close fight, I think they're going to give it to Rinat Fakhretdinov. I don't really see him finishing Dalby. I don't think he's going to finish him. I think it's going to go longer. I think the over 2.5 is pretty safe because even though Nat has some power in the overhand right that he throws, doesn't really throw in combinations. So I don't really see him like throwing combinations and catching Dalby and putting it on him to get a finish stoppage or something. Maybe I don't think his ground and pound's crazy where he's gonna finish him on the ground and pound. I think it goes longer. I think Fakhretdinov wins by decision. I'm gonna go Fakhretdinov on the scorecards in this one. But Dalby, I mean, you can probably play Dalby by decision too, because if if Dalby makes him work and Fakhretdinov cannot like control him on the ground, Dalby is definitely live on the feet to hurt this guy with something crazy because Fakhretdinov almost got finished in the third round against Gillespie, and I had a lot of money on Fakhretdinov in that spot. I didn't bet his money line. I bet him by decision and the minus 3.5 for him to win all 3 rounds. I lost at least a couple of units on the betting on Fakhretdinov, so I don't think I'll be parlaying him here. I'm gonna take the over 1.5, over 2.5 because I don't think finishes. I don't really see a finish here. Fakhretdinov, I mean, can he clip Dalby with an overhand right? Maybe. But it's not easy finishing a guy like Dalby. Fakhretdinov on the scorecards, and the line for Fakhretdinov is we have a line. We should have a line for Fakhretdinov here. Minus 298 for Fakhretdinov. So man, I don't know if I'm gonna be betting him over a pretty durable guy in Dalby. Dalby can get taken on, but the guy is like constantly working his way back up. Maybe you can bet Dalby by like split decision or something like that crazy. Maybe you can make this fight really close. I think Rinat should be good. He just competed in grappling with Craig Jones, I mean, and he's pretty tough, man. He got choked out eventually, but that was a good showing in the grappling against one of the best grapplers out there. But yeah, let's talk about the next fight now. Dalby on the scorecards for me there. Fakhretdinov on the scorecards for me. Excuse me. Let's talk about Muin Gafurov taking a Kengo Khan. I'm just not sold in Muin Gafurov, man. I know he had a pretty close fight with John Castaneda. I think he got a point taken in that fight. He was constantly walking John Castaneda down. Wasn't really able to land anything crazy though in Castaneda. And I don't think Castaneda is one of the best strikers out there. Even Kengo Khan's not a crazy good striker. At least he's out there competing in the UFC. He has some good wins in the UFC. He got outworked by Castaneda. Castaneda was mixing in takedowns. Took him down once, I think, and outstruck him on the feet. Was landing some nice leg kicks, nice body kicks and stuff, mixing in the targets across all areas. I'm leaning towards Kengo Khan, but it's in Abu Dhabi. It's in Saudi Arabia. It's probably going to go longer. Muin Gafurov, he hasn't really been out there winning decisions. This guy's 1-5 when fights are going longer. It's not been favorable for him when the fights are going longer. I did pick Saidner Magomedov by submission. That we bet him live by submission, Saidner Magomedov, because I was like, Muin Gafurov's probably going to be shooting a takedown. He's probably going to get caught in the submission. That's exactly what happened. The submission was a nice play there. We called that one. I don't think Kango Khan's gonna finish him. He might clip him on the feed. Man, Kango Khan's almost 36 years old. Losing to Rani Yaya is not a good look. Rani Yaya is actually a good wrestler though. Good grappler, I mean. Losing Castaneda, I mean, not bad. I mean, losing Castaneda. They both lost to Castaneda. At least, I think Muin Gafurov was actually more competitive with Castaneda. I don't know. I'm not really sold on Gafurov though. I'm gonna go with the guy with the youth experience, Kango Khan, but he's 5'9". I mean, he's gonna be taller, has a reach advantage. Give me Kango Khan on the scorecards, but you never know. I mean, they might give it to Muin Gafurov out there just because he's the fighter fighting out of that reason over there. I think the smart pick is probably Kango Khan. I'm gonna take this guy because he's actually fought some UFC competition. Is actually 8-4 in the UFC. Has losing to Ricardo Hamo is really not a good look. Oh my goodness, his losses are not good. Rani Yaya lost. Ricardo Hamos lost. This is probably gonna be an extremely close fight. Teratu Hisihara subbed him. Jesus Christ. The win over Badgaro Dana. That's actually not a bad win. Dana Badgaro is not terrible. And wins over Christian Quinones. He actually clipped him, knocked him down, and then subbed him. I'm gonna go Kango Khan by decision. That's my pick. Let's see what the odds are. Kango Khan, a slight underdog right now. Give me Kango Khan on the scorecards. I think he can pull this one out. Unless Gafurov like clips him and knocks him out. I mean, Kango Khan's pretty durable though. I don't think he's gonna get knocked out. He's only been knocked out once. Gafurov, I think, needs a finish in this fight, or he really needs to make it really close and win the rounds clearly. He's probably gonna be pressing forward, and you can definitely put pressure on a guy like Kango Khan. So I'm gonna go Kango Khan by decision though. I think he can win this one. I don't see him getting a finisher with Gafurov. Gafurov's pretty durable guy. Yeah, Kango Khan by decision is my pick. Next fight on the card is Nasrat Haqparast taking on Jared Gordon. It was actually a good matchup, man. I feel pretty good about Nasrat Haqparast. Now I probably shouldn't because he got outclassed by Bobby Green, which is not bad. I mean, Bobby Green is a veteran, and outclassed by Dan Hooker is not bad either. But out there beat John McDessie. I mean, that win over John McDessie is good. Beat Leonard Quinones. Leonard Quinones is actually a good prospect. And Jamie Miller knocked out Jamie Mullarkey. We picked Haqparast by knockout there because Jamie Mullarkey has no chin at all. Now Jared Gordon's coming off that win over Mark Madsen, where things weren't really going well for him early. Eventually, Marco Madsen gassed out, and he was able to put it on him, knocked him out in that late first round. And that Bobby Green fight, he was actually winning that fight. I mean, early he was actually outclassing Bobby Green. Then Bobby Green, they clashed heads, and then Bobby Green knocked him down with the head clash, I think. Then Bobby Green finished him with it was a ground and pound finish, but it was a no contest because it was they found out that it was a head clash. The reason he got dropped in that fight, he was actually looking good in that fight. He actually beat Paddy Pimblett, I think, but it was a really close fight. They gave it to Paddy Pimblett. So Jared Gordon's actually pretty good, but I think Nasrat's better on the feet. And I don't see Jared Gordon getting. I could see Nasrat taking him down. To be honest with you guys, Gordon's actually fought some high level guys though. Like he's actually fought Charles Oliveira. Joaquim Silva knocked him out though. Diego Ferreira. Not getting knocked out by Diego Ferreira is not bad these days. I mean, got stopped by Grant Dawson. I'm gonna go Nasrat Haqparast. I think Nasrat can. I mean, Gordon's actually been pretty durable recently. He has been knocked out before. I'm gonna say Nasrat probably. I'm gonna say decision. I mean, it's not as chinny as Mullarkey though. I think Nasrat by decision is probably a solid pick here. I think Nasrat can win. I think Nasrat should be okay to parlay. Nasrat is going to be live for a KO also, but I'm going to say he gets it done by decision. I think he can win this fight by decision likely. Alright guys, let's talk about the next matchup on this card now. Next matchup, let's look at the odds. I almost forgot to look at the odds. What are the odds for this fight? Nasrat is minus 225. I think he should be okay to parlay. Next fight on the card, guys. Let's go. Main card time. Remember, you guys smash the like button on the video, and drop a comment with your most confident parlays, most confident picks on the card. Let me know who you guys have. I love hearing back from you guys. Let's talk about this fight now, the main card opener. Shara Magomedov taking on Joilton Lutterbach. I don't know if I'm saying his name properly. So I watched some tape on Joilton. I've actually known about this guy, man. I watched him Karate Combat. I watched him in I think I watched him in PFO before. Um, that fight, he actually fought Dumas back in the day. Like, he's actually been fighting some pretty solid guys out there. The Alex Oliveira is not really a good look, I guess. But he lost to Carlson Harris. Is not terrible. He's actually been losing some pretty solid guys out there. Some UFC got knocked out by Duplessis, and got lost to Clay Carter, who's a pretty capable wet in PFO. He's not a bad fighter in PFO. Has a lot of experience though. Has grappling also, a lot of submission wins. He's only 31 years old, so he's got all this experience at 31 years old. But I do think Magomedov will be the far better striker from the outside. Better kicks. This guy's got some of the best kicks I've seen in at this weight class at middleweight. I think Shara Magomedov will be the better striker, but can he defend takedowns? That's the question. Because this guy was getting taken on way too easy by Bruno Silva, and that's not really a good look, getting taken on by Bruno Silva. He got taken on every round by Bruno Silva. Like, if Bruno Silva was taking you down, bro, like, what's gonna happen if a guy like Joilton takes him down? With the Joilton's actually got good grappling and has a submission game. So what's gonna happen if Joilton takes him down? Like, we're gonna find out, I guess, right? But he was able to stay safe. I mean, Bruno Silva was not really a submission threat, so he was up to. He actually was out striking Bruno Silva off his back. He's got some nice elbows and stuff. So, well, just not really a good look getting taken on by a striker like Bruno Silva. I'm hoping he works. He's been working on the takedown defense, so because he better be working on the takedown defense. Because if he's not, he gets taken on here. Joilton can definitely take his back, look for a submission or some type. And Joilton's pretty terrible. He's pretty durable guy, man. He's only been knocked out 2 times, been sub once. So like, this guy's pretty durable, man. He's got how many fights? He's got like 48 fights. He's only been finished 3 times, like once by the current champion Duplessis. So the guy's pretty durable, man. I'm not gonna this is not. I think this could be a close fight though, because Joilton's actually pretty good. He hasn't really been fighting in MMA for a minute. I went over Berg Gustafsson. Is not bad. I mean, Gustafsson's got some power, but I think we could see Gustafsson make his way to the UFC eventually. Gustafsson's not bad. I mean, but he fought Gustafsson. How long ago did he fight him? I think he fought him like back in 2023. So he's been pretty active. It was a majority decision, I guess, but Gustafsson's not bad. This guy's got some power. He fights in, I think he fights in Brave CF. Doesn't he fight in Brave CF? No, he fights in FCR, Fight Club Rush, in the KSW. But he shouldn't be going to in a close matchup with Gustafsson though, if he's a really UFC level fighter. I don't think Magomedov will win. I don't think he's finishing him though. I don't know if I see him finishing Joilton. Maybe he can catch him with a clean shot, but I think Magomedov by decision. If you're not finishing Bruno Silva's kind of chinny. I mean, has some durability issues, but he's okay. I'm gonna say Magomedov by decision. I mean, I'm picking a lot of decisions. Hopefully, I'm wrong, and then we see a finish here. But I think it probably goes a distance. I think it probably goes a distance. Because I could see Joilton mixing in takedowns here. And maybe looking for a submission. I mean, Joilton's submission is going to be live if Shara Magomedov hasn't been working on takedown defense. I guess we're going to find out though if he's been working on takedown defense. I'm gonna go Magomedov by decision. That's my pick. What's the odds for this one? Let's see. Minus 218 for Magomedov. Yeah, the line's kind of wide for a guy with no takedown defense. I don't know if I'll do anything with that one. Next fight on the card, we got Muhammad Naimov taking on Melsik Baghdasaryan. Now, Melsik Baghdasaryan is actually a good kickboxer, has a lot of experience. And he was actually looking kind of okay in the Josh Kulibov fight before he got hit with a straight right. Got dropped, and Josh Kulibov jumped on him with that submission, with that rear naked choke. And beat Tucker Lutz. Probably should have finished Tucker Lutz, if we're being honest. Tucker Lutz is a grappler mostly. Beat Colin Anglin, which is a good look, I guess. Colin Anglin beat Denis Bajuka, who's a good prospect in UC right now. got his first win in UFC recently. This is actually going to be a tough fight, man, because I think Melsik Baghdasaryan is actually slicker on the feet, has better striking. But Naimov's pretty. This guy's pretty big guy for the weight class. He's like pretty big for the weight class. I mean, that the last fight. I mean, Eric Silva. I think he had an injury. Excuse me. I think he had an injury in that fight, so we really didn't get to see much of Naimov's game in that fight. I think Naimov. I don't even know. I don't even know if Naimov landed that head kick. I think the head kick might have grazed him. Eric Silva. Eric Silva's not really UFC level, being honest. An Italian would win. That was a extremely close fight. Magomed Naimov was actually cheating in that fight, grabbing gloves. I mean, poking him in the eye. I mean, it was like a lot of fouls in that fight. But still, I mean, he actually dropped him in Italian Wood, I think, and Italian Wood was rocking him with some punches. Naimov was taking him down. I could see Naimov mixing in takedowns if the striking doesn't work out here. In that fight against Malarkey was actually beating him up. Wasn't really beating him up on the feet, but he was actually taking him down, mixing in the grappling. Then on the feet, Naimov clipped him, and Jamie Murky obviously has no chin. I'm not completely sold on Naimov yet. I mean, I think Baghdasaryan is going to be live to winning this fight. But I think Melsik Baghdasaryan has to beat him clearly here, because he's going to be fighting in Saudi Arabia, and the judges are going to be extremely biased out there. Like, I was definitely thinking about picking Melsik Baghdasaryan, because Naimov actually been beaten by guys before, Colin Anglin. Like, they have a common opponent, Colin Anglin, I think. So Melsik Baghdasaryan actually knocked him out. Naimov's actually training over there at Elevation Fight Team with the Justin Gaethje and those guys, so I think it's only going to get better out there. Even though Melsik Baghdasaryan is only 32 years old, fighting out of Armenia, I could see his takedown defense being an issue here. I could see Naimov mixing in takedowns, maybe getting a little bit tired then trading on the feet. Melsik will be the better striker here. I think Naimov can outwork him though with the takedowns, maybe mixing takedown every round, land some good power shots on the feet. But this is like a 50-50 fight. I mean, I'm not sure if I want to be betting on this one, as Naimov's only minus 115 right now. He actually opened up at plus 105, so the odds are pretty close, and they should be, because I think Melsik Baghdasaryan is pretty live for winning this fight. I think it could be a close fight. I think it goes over. Damn, this fight to go over too. Naimov's, I mean, hasn't really shown much submission skills at this level in the UFC yet. He's only like, what, 29 years old, so he's gonna get better. Let's see what happens. Well, I think it goes longer too. I mean, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully we see a couple of finishes, but the matchups. I mean, I feel like a couple of these fights can go the distance early on the card. I'm gonna say Naimov by decision. I mean, I don't know if I see him submitting Melsik Baghdasaryan. Baghdasaryan is a pretty durable guy. He's been subbed twice though, so maybe the submission can be live. Yeah, maybe the submission could be live, but I don't know. Naimov on the scorecards for me. Next fight on the card, we got Kelvin Gastelum taking on Daniel Rodriguez. Damn, another fight. Rodriguez, I mean, he popped for PDs, right, in that fight against, which fight was it? Was it Kevin Lee fight, or was it Li Jingliang fight? I can't remember which one. Maybe it was a Li Jingliang fight. I think he popped for steroids. Maybe it was, I think it might have been after the Neil Magny fight. So he was actually winning the Neil Magny fight before he completely gassed out, and third round got subbed by submission. Was the dirt choke by Neil Magny. And Kevin Lee was actually beating him up before Kevin Lee had some dumb fight IQ out there, made some mistakes and got tired, gassed out, and D-Rod was able to take over. Was able to take over in that fight. This is a tough fight because I don't think Kelvin Gastelum should be 2-1 here. I really don't think he should be 2-1 here. But I like his durability, man. He's never been knocked out. I mean, he has been knocked down before, but never been knocked out before. He's actually fought the way better competition. Jared Cannonier has a win over Chris Curtis. I think there was a head clash in that fight in the second round. I picked Chris Curtis to beat him, but it was a close fight. Lost to Jared Cannonier. I think Jared Cannonier was mixing in takedowns in that fight. Whittaker lost Hermanson. Darren Till Adesanya. So his losses are not bad. Has a win over Michael Bisping, obviously by knockout. I don't know. He looked pretty terrible against Sean Brady though. He just couldn't really defend a single takedown in that fight. Is Duguay gonna bring in the grappling heavy game plan? I'm not sure. He probably should, but I don't think he will. I'm not sure if he will. I think Kelvin Gastelum has better hands, better cardio, better durability. D-Rod's coming off that head kick KO to Ian Gary. He's been finished 2 of his losses recently, so he's close fight over Li Jingliang. I mean, fuck, I'm messing up that name. Li Jingliang. I think Kelvin Gastelum on the scorecard is probably I could see him finishing though. He hasn't really been finishing a lot of guys out there. Maybe this could be the time when he gets a knockout out there. Hasn't really. I mean, Chris Curtis is one of the most terrible guys in UFC right now. So knocking out Chris Curtis is like really not easy. I don't think anyone's really knocked out Chris Curtis in UFC recently. He's only been knocked out once in PFL against Ray Cooper at the third. I'm gonna go Kelvin Gastelum by I'll go by decision. I don't think Kelvin Gastelum is gonna be looking for submission out there, unless he lands a clean shot against D-Rod. Maybe he can knock him out, but I'm gonna say Kelvin Gastelum gets it done by decision out there. You'll see the odds for this fight. The odds for Kelvin Gastelum minus 238 right now. I think Kelvin Gastelum will win this fight by decision. More likely. At least he's fought in the last year or so, 6 months ago. That's actually 6 months. I mean, time flies. Holy shit. I think the overs are good over there in this fight. Alright guys, up next we got Johnny Walker taking on No Time Volkan Ozdemir. Give me No Time Volkan Ozdemir. So I was thinking about picking Johnny Walker, but I think Ozdemir can clip him and put him away. I'm gonna go No Time Ozdemir, man. This guy's actually he actually has a better chin than Johnny Walker. I mean, it shouldn't be a shock to anyone if you're listening to this. Johnny Walker, man, even in that fight over Ryan Spann, I think. Was it Ryan Spann fight? I think it was the Ryan Spann fight. Recently, that was like in 2020. So he got knocked down 2 times, and then he clipped. Ryan Spann was trying to go for a takedown. It was like that Joilton made up versus Curtis Blades, when Joilton was hanging on to that single leg takedown, got hammered, ate some elbows up against the fence. But Ryan Spann dropped him twice, and that fight bad. Corey Anderson knocked him out. I mean, I've seen him get knocked out like 10 times in one fight before in Rizzo MMA. Knocked out Clear Ronfrey back in the day in 2018. Paul Craig, knocked out Paul Craig, which is good, I guess. I mean, because Ozdemir couldn't really finish him, so if you're looking at it like that. Obviously, got knocked out by Magomed Ankalaev. I had the over 1.5 rounds in that one. I barely scraped that. I mean, holy shit, that barely been over 1.5 rounds. That was like, I was thank God that over 1.5, because I bet the over 1.5 in that one. I don't think I'll be betting the over 1.5 in this fight, because this guy's. I think Johnny Walker has durability issues, even though he's got a lot of power. Man, he's a 6'6" with 82-inch reach. He's probably gonna be live to get a KO or Volkan Ozdemir if he catches him with something clean, with a knee or something like that up the middle. And he does throw flying knees and stuff. I think Volkan has got better. He's more technical, I think. In the pocket, he sits on his punches. He can actually grapple also. Shouldn't probably grapple because Johnny Walker is really long and lengthy. He can probably take his back and look for a submission, but I'm leaning towards Volkan Ozdemir, man. I'm leaning towards Volkan Ozdemir. I'm gonna say Volkan Ozdemir gets it done by knockout. I think he can knock him out. I really think he can knock him out. He actually looked good in the Bogdan Guska fight. Now Bogdan was landing some straight shots, a straight right hand on Ozdemir. Ozdemir's chin is pretty good. Even in the Jerry Prajka fight. I mean, Jerry Prajka, he actually hurt Jerry Prajka bad in the first round. Everyone hurts Jerry Prajka though, to be fair. Now we got Jerry Prajka fighting Poatan this month for UFC 303. I'm actually looking forward to that fight. I think that's going to be a really good matchup. So I'm going to go Volkan Ozdemir by TKO. I think you can get this one done. But I think the under 1.5 is extreme. I think we're going to see a finish in the first round, because Johnny Walker is really open to counters, and Volkan Ozdemir is open to counters. So I could see a KO for either guy. I'm going to say Volkan Ozdemir gets it done by KO. That's going to be my pick. Volkan Ozdemir plus 105 underdog. Give me Volkan Ozdemir. No Time Ozdemir is going to get this one done But I mean it's light heavyweight, so maybe he might get caught with something crazy. His durability actually looked good in the Magomed Ankalaev fight. That was over 2.5 years ago though. And Nicolas is actually a good grappler. Give me Ozdemir by knockout. Next fight on the card, we got Sergey Pavlovich taking on Alexander Volkov. This is actually a good matchup, man. I'm actually looking forward to this one. Volkov's been on a run, man. He's 3-0 his last 3 fights. Knocked out Jorginho with a strike. His kicks are really nasty from the outside. He'll like teep kick you right to the stomach. I mean, takes the air out of your fucking body. You can't really breathe properly. Obviously knocked out Romanov, but he was defending a takedown by grabbing the fence. So you got to go back and watch that fight. He actually grabbed the fence defending that takedown against Romanov. Obviously, was beating Tuivasa on the feet with the leg kicks, then took him down and got the GKO choke. I don't think I'll see something like that happening here. I think Volkov's gonna be looking good early, and then I think Pavlovich gonna walk him down and then knock him out. I'm gonna say Pavlovich gets it done by knockout. I'm not sure if Pavlovich is gonna respect that power from Volkov. Obviously Pavlovich got knocked out by Tom Aspinall, but Tom Aspinall is like one of the best heavyweights out there right now. Should be fighting John Jones if you're being honest right now. And Pavlovich had some good moments. He actually stunned Tom Aspinall in that first round before he got clipped. The momentum is definitely on Volkov's side right now, but I think Pavlovich can get this one done. Before that, he knocked out Chris Curtis, defended all takedowns. Chris Curtis was shooting half takedowns, though, half-ass takedowns. Chris Blades. Curtis Blades is actually a better wrestler than Volkov. I mean, Volkov is more of a grappler. He's got grappling, BJJ game, but he's mostly a striker. His long and rangy 80-inch reach. I mean, crazy that Pavlovich actually has a reach advantage here. I think Pavlovich will get this one done. I'm gonna say first round KO for Pavlovich, but let's see how he comes back after that KO loss so that he had in his last fight. Hopefully he's okay, but he's been KO'd before. He got KO'd by Alistair Overeem, ground and pounded by Alistair Overeem back in the day. I think that was his UFC debut, so I think he'll come back okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go Pavlovich by KO TKO, but wouldn't be shocked if Volkov somehow gets this one done with some nasty body kicks and stuff like that. But I think eventually Pavlovich's gonna find that opening. He's gonna clip him something crazy. I'm gonna go Pavlovich by KO TKO. Pavlovich minus 205 right now. The line is kind of crazy for a guy coming off a KO loss, but I think Pavlovich will get this one done by KO. I like the under 2.5 in a parlay, under 1.5 in a parlay. I think it's gonna be a striking matchup, and I think someone's gonna go to sleep. I think Volkov probably gonna go to sleep. Well, Volkov has a lot of experience, man. He's got over like almost, how many fights does he have? 47 fights at this point. A lot of experience. He lost to Tom Aspinall he's 4-1 his last couple fights. Beat Marcin Tybura, beat Rosenstrike, who's been in the top 15 for a long time. Obviously beat the Blob Romanov, beat Tuivasa by a GKO choke. He's got better beats than Pavlovich though, but is he gonna submit if he gets a takedown? I mean, he's gonna be live for a submission. I'll say that much right now, because Pavlovich, we haven't really seen his ground game tested yet. But I think his takedown defense is pretty solid. He's a pretty stocky guy at this weight class. He's built like a fucking hammer. Pavlovich by KOTK is my pick. Alright guys, main event time now. We got Robert the Reaper Whittaker taking on Aliskerov. This is a really good matchup, man. I really want to see Chimaev fight, but unfortunately Chimaev is in the hospital right now. Hopefully he's okay, man. Hopefully Chimaev comes back 100%. He's been in the hospital before. He's been dealing with some injuries before. Not injuries, I mean some illness. I think he had COVID back in the day. During COVID time, Chimaev had some he was dealing with some COVID issues, health issues, and he came back and fought for a couple of times. Sucks that we're not gonna see Chimaev next week, because I was already doing research for that card, and I was watching a Chimaev fights back, and I was like, can't wait to see Chimaev back. Unfortunately, that's not gonna happen, guys. We got the next best thing here. We got Aliskerov, whose only loss in his career was to Chimaev. His takedown defense looked really good in that fight against Chimaev. He defended all takedowns against Chimaev. Obviously, ate that uppercut because he was worried about the takedowns and ate that uppercut. Went to sleep, got knocked out brutally. That's his only. He could be like 15-0 right now if he didn't fight Chimaev back in the day. He's gonna be fighting Whittaker, man. Whittaker, like one of the best middleweights out there, next to Izzy. This is definitely a tough one, man. I've been watching a lot of their fights back, and as much as I want to pick Aliskerov here, and I could see him getting a finish here. Is he gonna find that shot? I mean, knocking out Phil Hawes. I mean, I bet him over Phil Hawes. Obviously, Phil Hawes' chin has always been super suspect. Phil Hawes got knocked out by Marquez back in the Cuban Missile Crisis. Worley Elvis has got some suspect chin also. Former welterweight took that fight in short notice. He was supposed to fight Tricoli this weekend, but he's gonna be fighting Whittaker now. I gotta go with Whittaker, man, but his chin might be kind of suspect. We have seen him drop multiple times. He got dropped by Izzy in that first round in the rematch also. He got dropped with a jab by Duplessis. So Ikram Aliskerov has a sharp jab out there, man. He's definitely going to be throwing that jab out there a lot. He can also throw some flying knees and stuff. Can also wrestle. We have seen Whittaker get taken on. He actually took down Duplessis in that fight in that first round. Then Duplessis was able to get up to his feet and get a takedown of his own at the end of the first round. And Duplessis, once like Duplessis had that takedown, but Duplessis was landing some nasty elbows. I mean, he cut him open with some elbows. So the physicality could be an issue for Whittaker here because Ikram Aliskerov is pretty big for the weight class. They're both 6 feet tall, but I think Ikram probably fills into that frame a little bit more. I can't pick him here. He hasn't really been fight. It's not really his fault that he doesn't have any ranked wins right now. I gotta go with the guy that's like more proven in the top 15, been fighting top 15 competition, top 5, top 10 competition out there. He's only got 3 TKO losses. One of them was obviously Duplessis. I picked Duplessis there. If you guys go back and watch my breakdown for that card, I picked Duplessis by KO there. The Izzy fight was really close. He could have won that fight. I mean, probably should have won that fight because he was mixing in takedowns against Izzy. I don't really see him taking on Ikram Aliskerov. Ikram Aliskerov was a really good wrestler, really good takedown defense. Hasn't really been tested yet, but his takedown defense tested against Chimaev. Obviously got knocked out by Izzy back in the day in 2019 for the belt. Got knocked out by Wonderboy back in the day in 2014 at welterweight. I gotta go with Whittaker, man. At this line, I mean, even money almost. I think Whittaker is probably gonna win more often, unless he gets clipped with something crazy. And there's 25 minutes for Aliskerov to catch Whittaker with something crazy. Maybe Aliskerov really is that guy, man. But I don't know. After watching more tape. I mean, Hawes was actually looking good in that first round, landing some good body kicks, outstriking him. Then Aliskerov is gonna be live for a kill if you box Whittaker down. Doesn't respect his power at all. And he might not respect his power because Whittaker, we have seen him take some damage. He almost got knocked out in the first round against Paulo Costa. He was able to stay upright though. The time ran out and the first round was over. He was able to go back in his corner, reset, came back, looked pretty good in the second, recovered pretty good. Recovered pretty fast. I think the body kicks are going to be live for Ikram Aliskerov. Those body kicks are going to be there for Aliskerov. Whittaker probably can stick and move and outstrike Aliskerov. I'm gonna go Whittaker by decision, but I'm not that crazy confident. But I think Whittaker probably shouldn't be losing this fight. His only losses are to current or former UFC fighters, champions, middleweight champions. Izzy, 2-time middleweight champion. Duplessis, the current UFC middleweight champion. And I picked Duplessis over Strickland also. Duplessis is actually really good. He's undefeated in UFC. Even though Aliskerov is undefeated, but the wins just don't really hold a lot of weight out there. But it's not really his fault. He's been fighting guys that are the UFC's giving him. A lot of people really don't want to fight him in the UFC outside the rankings. I mean, even in the rankings. Yeah, this is a lose-lose situation for Whittaker, man. Like, what happens if he goes out there and beats Aliskerov? I'm not sure if he's gonna get a lot of credit because he's supposed to go out there and beat a guy like Aliskerov. Even though Aliskerov is a dangerous dude, has a lot of power, can wrestle, can get a submission maybe, but Whittaker hasn't really been getting sub. He's only been sub once and never in the UFC. He's got over 21 fights in the UFC, man. I'm gonna go Whittaker by decision. I don't really see him finishing Aliskerov. The play that I like for Aliskerov is probably finish only. I think you can get some plus money on the finish only for Aliskerov. He's underdog, so Let's look at the odds right now. So odds for this fight. Robert Whittaker minus 155. Aliskerov plus 130. Whittaker should be minus 155. I think it should be 2-1 here at least. But I think there's gonna be some money on Aliskerov for sure because he's fighting in Saudi Arabia. So if it's a close fight, they might give it to Aliskerov. He's gonna have hometown advantage out there. Even though he's from Russia, but he's Muslim, so I think there's gonna be some home field advantage for Aliskerov. Whittaker should be able to take care of Aliskerov though on the feet. He's gonna be the far better technical striker. It's just the power is not really there, man. He hasn't really been knocking anyone out recently. He almost knocked out Jared Kennedy with the straight right jab and the head kick behind it, so he can definitely hurt Aliskerov if he catches him with the head kick. But he hasn't finished anyone since like 2017. 25 minutes, man. A lot of time for Aliskerov to find his openings. This is like I'm kind of low, like medium confidence on Whittaker, but I'm not sure if I'll bet him, especially at chalk. Maybe Whittaker by decision, maybe. I did pick him over Holocaust by decision, bet him by decision there. Picked Duplessis to beat him there, and then obviously picked him over Marmatori. Picked Izzy, but he should have won that fight over Izzy though. If we're being honest right now, he was actually making takedowns over Izzy. I was striking him on the feet. Obviously, be Kelvin Gastelum. Give me Whittaker by decision is my pick. That's my full card breakdown, guys. Let me know what you guys think about the breakdown. I'll drop the best bets next week, and we'll do a live stream. We'll break down the fights in the live stream eventually next week. Make sure you guys drop a like on this video. Help your boy with the YouTube algorithm. And I'll see you guys next one. We've been doing really good on the bets and picks. So if you guys wanna see my bets and stuff, you can sign up for the YouTube membership. I post them every week on the membership. It's also you can support the channel like that if you just want to support the channel. I'll see you guys next one. Take it easy, guys. I appreciate you guys all for watching those videos, and good luck on this card, man. I'll see you guys next one. Later.